Welcome to Hot Topics in International Trade, brought to you by Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group.
Hi, this is Bob Brewer with Braumiller Law Group and Braumiller Consulting Group. Welcome to the podcast. With me this morning, I have Megan Mohler, Senior Associate Attorney here at Braumiller Law Group.
Hello.
How you doing, Megan?
Great.
Thanks for stopping by. Hey, this is my new studio, everybody. All I can say at this point is I earned it. I used to be in a closet down the hall. Now I'm at the end of the hall on the other side with a little bit more room. But this is great to have you. But how long have you been with Braumiller Law Group, Megan?
Gosh, 7 years.
7 years.
Mm-hmm.
All right. You sticking with us?
Yeah. I'm not going anywhere.
Is one smart young lady. Matter of fact, I kind of consider everyone to have like an area of expertise, so to speak. And you're kind of my export girl, guru, sanctions, export.
Yes.
Yeah. So I kind of want to dig in with that with you a little bit this morning. And man, I'll tell you what, why is export compliance so daunting of a task?
Oh, gosh, that's a big question. It could be a number of different things.
Give me some ideas.
Sure. The first thing is you have to kind of figure out what your jurisdiction is. There are so many different agencies that can govern an export. So you kind of have to go through whether you're dealing with the State Department or the IS, Bureau of Industry and Security. It could be, census related if it's a statistical issue. And then the other agency is OFAC, which is more and more common with all the sanctions these days.
Yeah. So what are some of the examples, though, of terms that exporters can, struggle with? Oh,
sure. Yeah. Subject to the EAR, quote unquote, is a big one. It means a specific thing. It's a defined term. So you kind of have to figure out if you fall under that. Another term is specially designed that always trips people up, because that could kick you out of one agency jurisdiction and kick you over to another one. So it's always really important to look up those terms and see if they're defined anywhere.
Wow. Just, as far as I always kind of look at the imports versus the exports, and I look at the reciprocal tariffs, and I kind of try to decide, wait a minute now, what is going on as far as the reciprocal tariffs and with when it comes to exports? I'll give you an example. We just slapped 30 or 39% on Switzerland. Mm-hmm. And it has to do with them exporting gold. Because we're looking for the gold to come into the United States. Mm-hmm. And there's so many, I wrote an article on this, by the way, not too long ago. All is fair in love and war, but apparently not trade. But it had to do with why are we slapping these tariffs on these certain countries? And I know you've looked at this too, just in the bigger pictures, kind of, what are we actually getting exported into the U.S. in a big way from some of these countries where you kind of might have even seen that's a little unfair. With Switzerland, we want the gold because of we're not really sure. So it got a boost, but that's coming in from Switzerland. It's not just chocolate.
Yeah.
But what do you see as the overall landscape on the export side? What's going on right now?
Well, I think with all of these reciprocal tariffs, I think the goal is to have more U.S. production shipped to other countries.
Right.
So if companies weren't exporting before, then they probably will be now. So it's very relevant. And if you're not experienced in it, then it could be very daunting. And there's a lot to consider there. You definitely don't want to go into it just guessing.
No, I wouldn't think. So give me some real world examples now. Just, you don't have to name the client, but give me, people always want to say, well, what kind of things are you working on right now in the trenches? Get an idea.
Well, AI is huge right now. And even semiconductors is huge right now. And there are very specific rules that the U.S. has governing those exports. So I won't say we've seen a ton of it right now, but I can tell it's definitely ramping up. And it's such a difficult topic to navigate too because it's so complex.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, in the trenches, then what are the pitfalls that you're seeing on a daily basis?
Oh, gosh. A lot of what we're seeing are clients are thinking that their stuff is actually over-controlled. They're assigning ECCNs, export commodity classification numbers, to the products that maybe might be better suited as EAR 99 because there's not a specific provision in the ECCNs that governs it. So I would say over-controlling determinations. People think that CCATs requests, BIS, for ECCN determinations is a lot harder than it actually is. You definitely want to go for those if you need clarification. Incorrect application of license exceptions is a big one. You know, people always want to find the loophole. Do I need a license or not?
Right.
So license exceptions can be misapplied. So it's very important to kind of go through all of that when you're looking at your exports.
I've also seen deemed exports come up a lot, or people are confused to what actually is a deemed export.
That's a great question.
I mean, what as well? Is there a gray area there? Like, well, let me get back to you on that because I do things separately different every time I see the question come up.
Sure, and a lot of people don't really know what deemed exports means, but it's pretty much in a nutshell when you have a foreign national or someone that's not a U.S. citizen. And they're maybe entering your facility and they're viewing controlled technology or hardware. So that would, even though it's happening in the U.S., it's a deemed export because technically that person is a citizen of another country. And so it's exportation to that country.
Gotcha. And there was one other thing that kept coming up too that I wanted you to talk about: foreign direct product rule. That's another one that's kind of a little,
Yes, I could do a whole other podcast on that
give
us product rule.
Go for it.
Sure. So that rule is relevant when you have a foreign-made commodity that incorporates U.S. technology or software, or is a product of U.S. technology or software somewhere down the line in the supply chain. So it's very relevant and it's often overlooked. And there are 11 different foreign direct product rules to consider.
11?
Yes, and they all have their own country scope and product scope. So it's very intricate.
Intricate.
Yeah.
All right. So that's got to be on a case-by-case basis then, obviously, that you look at that and have people asking you, hey.
Oh, absolutely. And sometimes, you know, if we just scope out the situation and we say, hey, are you making this stuff abroad? If so, you know, is there any U.S. technology incorporated? And it's something that you, like I said, is often overlooked. So, yeah, it's our job to kind of suss it out.
Gotcha. Sanctions. Anything you want to mention? Because you're kind of my sanctions gal, too. I mean, who knows what's going to happen in this discussion upcoming with Trump and Putin? You know,
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that, by the way? What do you think's going to happen? Well,
well, if it goes anything like the conversations with Zelensky went, you know, it'll definitely be entertaining to watch.
So it's just a listening meeting right now. Now, he's said before he's going to put the hammer down on sanctions if Putin doesn't give him what he wants. Putin wants land. We all know that. I mean, he's supposed to have a chat with the EU and Zelensky this morning on how to go in with, you know, their posture in mind with this discussion. But we all know that Zelensky's right. If he lets him have this land, there will be no stopping him. That's kind of what I think.
Well, I feel like, you know, there already are a lot of sanctions on Russian, you know, persons, and there's like a whole regime.
Yeah.
There's actually two, you know, the sectoral sanctions and then the specific Russian harmful sanctions. So, I mean, as far as implementing more, I guess he could ratchet them
What would they
up.
possibly be is what you're kind of... Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's another good point, is because that is changing so frequently. A lot of companies are not screening against these prohibited party lists enough. They think that if it's once, then it's a one and done. But, you know, people are getting added and taken off the lists all the time. So that's another important thing to note.
Yeah. I just, at this point, I'm just hoping it ends, period. I mean, there's got to be a way. Putin's got to decide, you know what, I've had enough too. You know?
Yeah.
I've had enough. So... And I certainly, you know, this is the first time you've actually chatted with me. You know, some people out there are like, really? A senior associate attorney, Megan Mohler's been there for 7 years? Where was she, Bob? She was down the hall working her butt off. But so tell us a little bit about yourself then. I mean, people want to know you a little bit better.
Sure. So I am a journalist first and foremost.
Yep.
So I have my degree in journalism, and I knew that there's more I could do. So that's why I went to law school, and I connected with Adrian in my last year. And so I knew that since I love to travel, like I wanted to do something with an international nexus. And it's been so fun because it's always something different every day.
Especially here. Because this is a small shop, but man, I'll tell you what, we get anything and everything here. Well, it keeps it interesting.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And I love that because I want to always be, challenged. And we have the clients who challenge us.
Yeah. If you've ever seen that digital magazine too, this is one thing because I am a journalist, obviously, but my minors in college were like English and art. So when you submitted to me some things about your personal page in the magazine, you drew this picture of this bridge. And it was because one of the hardest things to do is, as an artist, to really get that three-dimensional and the depth.
Yes.
I remember the art teacher making us go out in the hallway. I mean, to sit at one end of the hallway and draw everything and get that. I thought, man, well, this is challenging. But you did a phenomenal job on that picture.
Thank you. I was an architecture major for one semester, my first semester, and they really, it was design focused.
Yeah.
If you thought that was good, you should have seen some of my classmates. They would have blown you away. But I have kept up with drawing. I love doing sketching. I'm not always the best at it. I have to have a good reference picture and I'll copy it.
I just think from whatever is in my head. And I just start. Sometimes I used to start with a circle, just go from just something down on paper. But
some doodling.
Yeah. Well, I actually went to the university that I did. Where'd you go to school?
University of Arizona.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
All right.
And I had a minor in sports management because I love sports. So.
Oh yeah, you were you were on the pitch for a long time, right?
Yes, I was a soccer player. Loved it. Still, I'm hoping that my son will like to play soccer.
All right. She's a new mommy, by the way, too.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh, he'll definitely get into that, I'm sure.
Well, he's kicking a lot right now, so I'm hoping.
Good. Got a little ball that you're throwing down. That's good.
Yeah.
And he's how old now?
He's 4 months old.
4 months old.
Yeah, so very fresh.
That's great. But no, hey, listen, I appreciate you stopping by, Megan. It was great to chat with you about sanctions and export in general. And you want to come down the hall and chat with me again sometime soon?
Absolutely. There's a lot to talk about.
I know. So we'll break these out, ladies and gentlemen, and she will be back. All right. Thanks, Megan.
Thanks, Bob.